Arizona side-by-side project. Today's a special day for me because we have just hit 100 subscribers on this channel, and that's all thanks to you guys. I just want to say a big thank you to all the support you guys show to this channel, and thank you so much for subscribing. We'll have lots more videos coming up that are pretty awesome, I think. But today we're going to focus a little bit on Shock Therapy's dual rate spring kit here. You guys have been following along with me a little bit. I had the awesome opportunity to partner with Shock Therapy with the Maverick Max here to help them build the dual rate spring kit for this ride. So without further ado, we're going to take a look at this and my thoughts on it. Some things to note about the build quality. Really satisfied with the quality of these springs, and even the cool little sticker that they put on here when they do the valving. I think it just makes it look like another high-end level, which is pretty cool. But what's pretty neat is the little what do you call these, the spring retainer or the holder here. Mitch was telling me that they didn't have to make a new one because this one was big enough to handle this dual rate spring. So that's pretty cool. The other thing too is at the top here, these adjusters, I wanted to find out if I could have a low speed and a high speed put in. Mitch was saying that on these 2.0 bodies, they're limited in that they don't have an adjuster that they can slide in here for these. So something to keep in mind if you're having these revalved, that they do have their limitations. They're not going to be as universal or versatile as like maybe the 2.5, where you can put that in and get maybe a little bit more out of your shock across varying terrains. One other thing to note, Mitch was telling me that here soon, I think on these 2.0s is what he was talking about, those electronic controlled valving, so you can control the car or the shocks from within the car. The Can-Am is going to be coming out with that system for these shocks too, that you can plug in and play on it. So that should be pretty cool for us guys running these 2.0s. But I'm not quite sure when they're supposed to come out. Maybe sometime here in the near future. So be on the lookout for that if that's something that interests you. Now, some of you guys might be saying the ride wasn't all that bad stock, and I have to agree with you. One thing I noticed going through and putting different stuff on this is after I took off the Bighorn tires that were really squishy and put on something like an 8-ply or like a 10-ply I have here, it really uncovered where the suspension was. And it really was lacking, in my opinion, as far as the harshness, being able to handle that quick chop terrain. And even though it was a fairly comfortable and a really nice ride, I really wanted something more out of it. And after putting this kit on, I can safely say it is a whole nother beast. I can drive at speeds I never thought I could drive and do things in this machine that I never thought I could do now that this spring kit is on here. So on a different topic here, articulation. Before I did the Shock Therapy springs, I decided to take off my sway bar like a lot of you guys probably have, and notice the ride was so much better. The articulation that you got, no more three-wheeling in the front, and it was just the way of life. So in the process of going through this, I needed to put my sway bar back on for their testing. So I did that, and then I've gone ahead and I've left this on to test out these springs just to see how much better they are from that stock ride. And I can say that the articulation and just the absorption of bumps is so much better with the sway bar on still than it was with stock. Maybe the sway bar off with stock suspension, it might be a tad bit better over some of the really, really rough stuff. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to have a video coming up soon, guys, and I'm going to do some testing with the sway bar off on the front, the sway bar off on the back only, and then both sway bars off, and see what kind of results we'll get, so you guys can make a decision if you go this route, what sway bar you want connected. Do you want both of them connected or one disconnected? So be on the lookout for that video. I'm going to be doing that one real soon. But as it stands right now, it drives really good with these on it. Maybe when you get into some situations where you have a really high angle that you're going on, you might get that wheel up in the air. But I noticed that some really slow crawls that you could hear it really articulating well. So with that said, it drives phenomenal. You can drive faster, harder turns into the corners with the sway bar on. So I might leave it on for a little while. Well, there you have you guys. My first impressions of the Shock Therapy spring kit. Was it worth it? Absolutely is worth it. Probably one of the best investments I've made on the machine. Thought it rode well before. It rides like a dream now when you need it to be soft, and when you need it to be a sports car and you're out with your buddies and you got to hang with them, it rides really well that way too. One thing to note, mine was set up with 4 passengers. So when I ride in it with just me, you're gonna notice a little bit stiffer ride, which is to be expected, because I do mostly my riding with 4 passengers. So that's not a biggie for me. But talk to Mitch when you get yours set up. Make sure that you get it dialed in for what kind of riding you're gonna do most of the time. So I'll make another video. I'll kind of go over some of the settings that I have found that work for me, and how I set mine up with Mitch with all my my weights and stuff like that. I'll probably do that in another video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for more awesome videos. I got a clutch kit on this thing and some other things that we've done. So I'll be reviewing that and going over that with you guys. So, all right, we'll see you in the next video.